But before we get started, make sure you like and subscribe and turn on that bell notification so you know when we upload. Welcome back to Rugby Heads, brought to you by the Peak Athletic Club, the only show that hits harder than Islander dads when their sons don't score tries. So strap in, because we've got a big week of rugby to wrap our Rugby Heads around. Before we get started, please welcome my Rugby Heads panel for today, Leone Falini and the great Nemani Nandolo. Oh, Kurandrani. Sorry, mate.
Kurandrani, mate.
All right, boys, let's get stuck into it. Let's kick things off with our try or no tries, the segment where we decide if it's 5 points under the post or if we go up to the TMO. Freeney, you want to kick us off with your try or no try?
My try or no try? My try goes to Tom Robinson, mate. Little engine that could. You know, he's unassuming, you know, not the biggest guy in the world, not the smallest guy in the world, but, man, I tell you what, he put in some work on the weekend versus the Lions. Underrated. I think he was playing loose head as well. Yeah. He's my try this week. I reckon he's a smoky. He's going to be thereabouts for the Wallabies.
How's his chat too after the game? Said to give his left testicle to play against the Lions. And then Max Bury, his teammate, clapping back saying, yeah, because you got one on your ears. So good chat from the boys. NEMZ, your try or no try?
My try is it's good to see Flying Fijians in Oz earlier. Now that they've got, they'll be competing in Tier 1 and whatnot, it's good to see them be in Australia and prepare for a whole week as opposed to rocking up 48 hours before the game. So, it's good to see that. Really excited to see them play this weekend.
Yeah, nice.
Fucking oath.
I've got a pretty good no try, but I'll start with the positives. My tries, we've come a long way since we started pack and trolling Rugby Australia. Now, I'm part of the gang. I'm going to be the ground announcer at the Reds game this Wednesday and then the Wallabies Lions game later in the month. So, mate, we've come a long way and we're joining forces now to try and beat the Lions. So, hopefully I won't jump the gun like the ground announcer in Perth on the weekend, but we'll see what Tony's got in store. So, just a bit of love to Rugby Australia. And, thanks for the.
Do they know you're full of Cusick yet?
No, not yet. They don't know about my dyslexia, so we'll see how it goes.
Or your stutter.
Yeah.
I can't wait to watch.
Does that mean you get Reds kit? You'll be getting all the kit?
Yeah, well, I hope so. If they got 2XLs, they need 2XLs lying around. But
I think I get Saucy's old kit. I think you had to hand it in.
Whoa.
You'll put that one.
Hey, watch it, mate.
Same.
Second one was Ironside. He's not here, but after the game, I know they lost. I thought they actually won, but Ironside after the game, he's been carrying on for the last forever about his Bloods and Crips hate for Gordon. And it's good for him to sort of grow up and not have that hate in his heart after losing to Gordon. So thinking of your Ironside and glad you're not on this week. Hope you come back next week. And then my try. It goes to our other host who's not here. He's taken sabbatical this week. But my no try. He gets my no try because he swerved his first cousin's wedding formalities in Fiji to travel to the other side of the world to hang out with NEMZ's former teammates. NEMZ's former Crusaders teammates. Mate, just to carry on from JT acting like NEMZ's best mates are his best mates and stealing NEMZ's friends. So love your work, JT, but come on, mate. There's no try from me.
And not only that, he could have used that money to give to Mossy to get a good start in life, but no. He decided to use all those euros for himself. Selfish, mate.
Yeah.
Like JT,
mate. But crazy, mate. Crazy.
Very self.
But yeah, once again, if you got any tries or no tries, put them down in the comments. Now, let's go to the top performer of the week, the players who played like their match fees depended on it. Freeney, who stood out for you this week?
My favourite was Andrew Porter coming off the bench and absolutely fisting the force scrum. There's a bit of a I believe I can fly going on there because the tight head from the force, who was that in the second half?
Oh, who cares, man? Do it. Yeah.
Who cares? Yeah, I don't want to name him. Poor fella, he just got absolutely
we all been
fingered.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, you have, I haven't. But then, I know, it's all good. Far out, mate. What a performance when he come on. They've got some depth in the front row. So, mate, I can't wait for the battle with Wallabies. But also Finn Russell, man. Holy, he was just playing like everyone was in slow-mo. I can't wait for him and Gibson Park to be a pair and play with each other.
Oh, that's this week. So are you going for the Lions or Reds, mate? Because it sounded
mate, I'm just,
excited about rugby.
I'm just excited for the tour, mate. Just excited about rugby in general,
Yeah,
just being positive this week,
Yeah, thanks, man. Save me some hours editing. NEMZ, who was your standout for the week?
I had two, Ches and Colby, Springboks putting it on against the Barbarians, mate. Guy still got it. I think he ran over Riccatelli.
Yeah, that was crazy.
He's still got it. He's just getting better all the time. And the other one, Franny touched on it, was Finn Russell. I'm so happy to see, it's good to see someone like Finn Russell, who we don't really hear about, that tears it up in the Northern Hemisphere, come here and play his game. And, his game really suits the Southern Hemisphere game. And just to see him play and what he just looked like, mate, he was in an armchair. And, people keep forgetting that's just how he plays all the time. So I was really impressed with him and big fan of Finn and the way, the way he goes about his game. So, I think he'll be the number 110. And I've always said this from the start.
Easy.
I reckon he'll play this game and then they'll give him a rest and get him ready for the first game. But
mate, I even saw him hit a couple rucks. He went hard too.
He loves a beer. Loves the night on the.
He looks like he would. He looks like he'd be good on the piss.
But I thought one of you boys were going to say Dylan Peach. So I didn't have Dylan Peach, but
I've got him next.
We got the next one.
Yeah, and then but I wanted to shout out the opposite winger, Matt Greeley. I named him last week, and mate, I thought he was outstanding. His one-on-ones, snapping ankles out there. But my real one was the back three for the Springboks. It's just. They're getting better and better, especially Afalele Fassi. I thought he was good at the back. But Cheslin Colby running over Ricky Riccatelli, I'm like, oh, bruh, that's your worst nightmare for a forward to be that on your highlights reel, on Cheslin's highlight reel. So those guys are crazy. But yeah, remind me of the box wingers and fullback from the early 2000s, Brenton Pulsar, Ashland Pulsar, and Percy Montgomery. That back three was deadly, and these guys are just, mate, another level. And then we'll get into the Lions versus Force. Thoughts on the games, boys, and your standouts, Freeney?
Mate, what a first half from the boys. If Dylan Peach didn't play himself into a Wallabies to run on spot, then I don't know what else he has to do. He was, mate, that was so good to watch from him. He's big, physical, and geez, he can move. Yeah. He was my favourite from the Force. But I've got a couple from the Lions. I really like Sheehan, the hooker.
Yeah,
he's a big body too, and he can move. Real similar to buddy. Anyway, whatever. But yeah, James Lowe and Mac Hansen were also a handful. Mac Hansen was just smart. Like he played a real smart game. He's sort of making half breaks and just his kicking game and all that was good. But James Lowe, he is physical and he's got a big bird on him too.
Yes. So I put a tweet out after the game and said, I said, you can probably go back and look at it. And I said, look, the British Lions are going to tear every team up besides the Wallabies. And I said, I want to be proven wrong, but prove me wrong. But I just think, they're going to go through. They're going to breeze through the club games. Anyway, woke up the next day, got the abuse of my lifetime, got told to stay in retirement, all this and all I said was, they're going to tear up all the teams outside of the Wallabies. Like, you had to said the Wallabies, fair enough, okay. But, mate, so I just laughed at it, had a look at it. And so, obviously, and some guy tweeted, have you ever watched a rugby game in your life? And I was like, anyway.
Do you know who I am?
Should have just showed him some YouTube clips. But anyway, that was funny, I thought. But I genuinely think the game was good. I like the Force. Big shout out to the Force crowd, the Perth locals.
Yeah.
That's 46,000 or 40 odd thousand people to come up to that. I think that's just shows how big the Lions are. you know, and how big it's going to be over here, let alone over there. I think I was really happy with Greeley. I've been a big fan of Greeley, and I've said a few times on this pod, best thing he's done is gone to the Force. He could be a bolter in November, I reckon. I think he's just one of those guys that, you know, continues, he nails his role. That's what I love about him. And yeah, again, going back to, he's not really liked here in Australia or around the world as Pollock. I thought he played well for a young guy. I do get it, like he can carry on a little bit, and you know, I think that can probably calm that down. But in terms of from a rugby point of view, I think he's a good footballer.
His backup play is insane. Hey, like.
Yeah, exactly. So we talk about character. We need characters, and you know, maybe that's just the character that we've got, and good on him. You know, love him or hate him, I'll be calling his name. So
mate. Yeah, he's that X factor he's got. Hey, just that backing up and that pace off the mark. Oh, I've lost NEMZ. The pace off the mark was just insane, I thought. But when he starts cutting all those errors out, then start fucking talking, mate.
Yeah, he's playing that villain role that you played very well in your time on the field, Frenny, and mate, my blood was boiling when they scored a try. He didn't even score it, and he's there pushing all the other players. I'm like, I hate him.
Yeah, true. Yeah, maybe I hate myself.
But he's a great player, and to do that at 20, he's only going to get better. But yeah, defensively, got a lot to work on, a lot of misses. But mate, he's 20 years old, mate. He's going to be insane. But yeah, another, you already touched on Tom Robertson that I had. I thought he was unreal in scrum time. I thought they were going to get BCF'd in the first half, but the fourth scrum actually gave it to him a few times. But yeah, in the second half, obviously the Lions threw it around. So got the chocolates there. And I thought Dono should have started at 10. I thought Dono should have started at 10 and Bury at fullback. Because when Dono went to 10, they were flowing like the good force this year. So, yeah, no hate to the starting 10, but, yeah.
I reckon 100% if Dono was playing run on 10, it would have been slightly different. You know, it still would have been a decent score, but from the Lions part, man, I thought if they had Dono and had a bit better direction, it would have been a tighter game. Like, anyway. It was awesome to watch, man. I'm happy that there was a bit of dog in them. They just didn't give up.
Yeah, for the first game. So it's only going to get better with the Reds coming. This is going to be out Tuesday. So tomorrow, make sure you guys tune into that one. Now, did you catch the Springboks versus Barbarians game? I thought it was going to be closer than what it was.
They are the whole package, man.
Yeah,
they are like the New Zealand for those 2 World Cup wins.
Yeah.
They're going to be a dynasty for this era of that. They've got all these new guys coming in. Their set piece is mental. Their back three is mental. Their you know, like their halves, their centers. They're just complete package, and they've got a bench that can just come on and absolutely, ruin sides, mate. They are unbelievable to watch. And Rusty keeps trying new, different, random things too.
Yeah, you can see them enjoying it. Like when they go to the coaches' box, you just see the coaches like celebrating all the little breaks, and the Springboks, the environment looks like it's humming. NEMZ, your thoughts on the Barbarians Springboks game?
Yeah, I just that Springboks team, they just look well drilled. Hey, like their depth, the people they got coming, like it's like what Razzie has done. Like I think this Springboks squad is going to be like powerful for the next 12, 15, over the next decade. I think how they're trying to breed, you know, like bring in, nurture new guys. It's starting to become like the All Blacks, right?
Yeah.
Of the, the 2000s.
Yeah.
And I just can't see them holding off. And I think, next week, who says they can't win another World Cup? I wouldn't be surprised. You know what
Easy.
I mean?
Just look at the under 20s this morning. Holy heck up, mate. What the frick?
Yeah, like that under 20s, 70 odd
Test
points.
Test them. All I'm saying, they're looking pretty swollen. They're looking pretty swollen.
Mate, test them.
But, mate, the Springboks team is crazy.
Mate, there's a long way to go for them, in terms of, I just can't see them. They're only going to get better.
Yeah. But then we'll go into the French top 14 final. NEMZ, you've played over there. I don't know if you boys caught this match, but one of the best French top 14 finals I've seen in a long time. I think it was the first time they went into OT since 2005. Mate, it was like a packed, I think capacity that Stade de France is 80,000. It was packed, half the crowd in maroon for UBB and then half in black and red for Toulouse. Intermac got injured in the first half and then Ramos stepped in at 10 and in a MVP performance at 10 as well in 24 points. Bordeaux, Pete Samuel, holy hecker. He's getting better and better.
Was he good?
Line out time, got a few steals at line out time towards the end to get him drawn up at the end there. And then, the Peter Key came off the bench for Toulouse and got that steal in the last play. But any of you boys catch it?
Yeah, I watched it, and I can understand where Bordeaux's coming from. I've played in a losing top 14 final, and mate, like that intensity is just ridiculous. Like, you know, my guy's Jack Willis.
Yeah, he two tries, yeah. English. Should have been on tour.
Yeah, how he's not on the tour. But anyway, I thought he played really well, and he's made, he was so different playing in the UK than what he is now. You know what I mean? Like, he's playing with a bit of flair. But mate, that to go 100 minutes after 30-odd games in a top 14 final, like that's got to be crazy, man. And it's not Golden Point, right? They play the full 10 minutes, and the only thing that split them was a penalty kick. So, like you said, Ramos, you know, mate, to win one, let alone three in a row, is crazy, man, crazy. And Bordeaux, you know, they've got to be proud of themselves. They've won a European Cup.
Yeah.
Pete Samu, mate, if he's not, he's in the Wallaby squad, eh?
Maybe after the Fiji and naming the proper squad.
Yeah.
So I'm sure he'll be there.
Yeah. Mate, he needs to.
Who do you get? Who do you drop?
Just have a wide squad, mate. Just keep them all in, mate.
Yeah.
Because I've seen Rory Scott's in there from the Brumbies in the wider squad. So I'm not saying drop him, but yeah, just keep everyone there, keep them warm. But Pete Summer's going to be starting.
Well, he's moving back, right? Pete Summer.
Waratahs.
Yeah, maybe just, I don't know, bring him into the squad, but he needs to play.
Yeah.
Sure. Mate, you can't tell
Yeah,
me
man, I've always thought he is the best.
intensity that he's come from ain't Super Rugby intensity. That's the sort of intensity you need for the Lions.
Yeah. Yeah, it was probably good that he was playing as well, so he wasn't in with JT and the boys this weekend. Just going loose, so he's ready for the test. So, yeah.
It felt weird seeing my old teammates and JT's like...
Oh, bro, hasn't he just like, he's just weaseled his way in, and it's been years coming, and now look at him. Look at him!
He wins.
Oi, NEMZ, I was going to ask about the Barbars tour, man. Like, what was your favourite part of that tour?
Getting an envelope. And we played rugby.
But like, was it just like, it was just a proper tour, old school tour?
Yeah, proper tour. You stop drinking on Thursday, and then you play on Saturday. I was lucky enough. I went on 2 tours of Barbarians, so that was pretty crazy. You know? You get one. So the first time I went on a Barbarians tour, get this, I was still working for TradeLink, playing for Randwick, and I was here. Flying business. I was with like Jerry Collins and them, and they're like, "Oh, what club do you play for?" They're like, "Oh, Toulon, London Irish." And I had to get up, and I was like, "Randwick, 2nd grade, grade league, London grade." Right, but I can tell you that Barbers trip, that first Barbers trip, mate, I made more money off the field than I did as a rugby player, because like the boys would go and buy drinks, and I was the youngest, right? And I was with my pursuer and Jerry Collins. And they took me under their wing, and they're like, "Yeah, go buy drinks." And they kept giving me £50 notes. And I was like, "Oh yeah, bro, here's the change." And they were like, they was like you know how they do. I was
thank you, boss.
Thank you,
mate. I think I kid you not, I think I made £450 one night on changes, because the boys didn't want to take me. They're like, "Nah," and I was like, "Oh, you should." Get this. I shouted them in a taxi to get back to the hotel, and I paid for it. Well, their money, but I paid for
Oh, man, how good.
And the rest has gone to Mossy. The rest has gone to Mossy this week.
Oh, man. But we'll get into our match predictions, starting off with the game tomorrow. Reds versus Lions. Thoughts how this is going to go? They've already named their teams. Thoughts, Freeney? We'll start with Freeney. And margin prediction.
13 plus. I reckon it's going to be closer. I reckon it's going to be a closer game. I think the Reds pack is very strong, especially our starting front row. Aiden Ross, he's first Guernsey. But I think it's going to be a lot more physical and, a good brand of footy as well. I think it's going to be 12 under to the Lions might pip us.
Ooh. NEMZ, thoughts and margin?
Actually, sorry. To Reds. By 2.
Oh, whoa. Okay. I actually don't mind the Reds team. So, NEMZ, what do you reckon? You think it's going to be a big one, like you said on Twitter?
All right, let's come back to planet Earth, Freeney. I do agree with Freeney with the forward pack. I think this will be the first time the Lions will get tested. I mean, prior to Argentina, I think the Reds forward pack is big. They've gone big against these guys. My only biggest worry is the back line. Against smaller back line. The Lions are a pretty big back line. But the question is, they get a penalty, do they go for goal? Are they going for the win, or are they just trying to, play their normal game? They did in Super Rugby where they never went for the points. Now, I get it, you can go for points, but if you're playing a bigger team, and there's going to come a time when you're going to get out-muscled, or, you're going to get tired. So do they conserve and go to 3 points when they get penalties, or do they just go for the line out all the time? So that'll be the biggest test, and I'm excited to see how they play, whether Les Kids changes that game plan or they just play what got them to the quarterfinals. But it'll be a good game. I still think the Lions are going to be 13 plus. I think they'll blow out the last 25 minutes. They'll take over.
Okay. I think it'll be sort of close. I think Lions will only just scrape away with it, because that Reds team is one of their strongest team they've named this year. I know they got Pasami back from the Wallabies, and him and Fluke in the centres. I think that's going to be deadly, and it's going to be like how they played the Force, 100%. And they had no idea about Mac Greeley and his right foot step. So Mac, and it worked pretty much every time Mac used it. So I think they had no idea who the junkyard dog is and all these other boys. So I think it might be a sneak attack that Farini's been carrying on about all year. I think this is the sneak attack they might get. But I think the Lions will close it out. I think the Lions will close it out.
This is what we've been training for, mate. And that's why we didn't kick it for goal during the year, mate. It's been this game. We've been waiting for it.
The Lions do always slip up in one game against a super team. Maybe that was only in New Zealand, but I'm guessing it might be this one or the Brumbies. So we'll see. We'll see how it'll go. Let us know in the comments how you think the Reds are going to go. But yeah. Freeney, with the Lions series and the Wallabies taking a few of the Reds star players, any club players that you would take from QPR to the Reds if you were Les Kiss for this game against the Lions?
I know we've got a good, strong back row at the moment, but I reckon Matty Jekyll or Cohen Herbert, I reckon they've 2 sevens who stick out every week. They're a rung above the rest. Yeah. I reckon they could. Glenn Vaihu at the moment, he's just absolutely deserves a crack somewhere. He's like his footwork, his West Drua. He's been carving up, but I reckon William Milea. I reckon he's a young fellow who's just been carving up since he's been back in club, but also the mighty filth, Dom Fraser and Michael Wood. Dom Fraser, mate, he looks about 50, but he's just a nugget, good set piece, solid around the park. I don't mind him, but Michael Wood, he's another one. He's a bit of a handful in the back row there.
Yeah, nice. And we'll try for NEMZ. Mate, we know the Pacific Island team are playing in Melbourne. We know Melbourne's pretty much a Pacific Island stronghold. Anyone from Club Rugby Melbourne that you would shout for Kefs and the boys to pick, maybe just one player stand out down there?
Alatini Vaihu.
Oh, one of the Vaihu brothers.
Alatini Vaihu. Yeah. Mate, he was he plays for Endeavour Hills. He's been playing consistently well. They actually beat Footscray gave Footscray their first loss of the season here.
Damn.
So, mate, if there's someone I would bring in from Club Rugby, would be him. Good place, 8-6. And he's been consistently playing well down here in Melbourne. So, but it's good to see, Endeavour do well as well. So that's my guy I'd bring in.
Nice. Good shout. We'll get into the Waratahs game, which is also this weekend. Waratahs versus Lions. Thoughts and predictions, Freddie? Nella's back for the Tars.
Lions versus... Tars going to get pumped 13 plus.
Okay, 13 plus. NEMZ, you agreeing with that as well? Okay, yeah.
I was just going to say 2 minutes ago, sad to my old team because we're like, the Reds and Brumbies could get the win. Look, it's good to see the Tongan Thor come back. He needs game time, and I think that's good that he's going to play. Now, how many minutes he plays is going to be the biggest test. He's going to be playing against, far more better forward packs and guys who are, all they do is scrum over there. So it'll be interesting to see how he goes. But, yeah, I just can't see the Tars going past the Lions with all the non-Wallaby guys they've got.
All right. So if our multi goes past the Reds game, lock in the Lions, 13 plus against the Tars. And then Wallabies hosting Fiji in Newcastle. Freeney, how do you think this is going to go in margin?
This is going to be a close one, I reckon. First game for the Wallabies together. I honestly think it's going to be 12 under to the Wallabies. It's going to be very close, though. Like, the Fiji side's solid, man. And it's going to be some sore bodies after that game.
Okay. NEMZ, you agree as well, or you think it's going to be a blow-up? Boys are trying to get that spot.
Yeah, I agree.
Lines?
I agree with Freddie.
Okay.
No, I agree with Freddie. I think the Wallabies have a lot to play for. They've got Fiji do as well. But, this is, I think, the enormity of the Lions being here and being here for only 12 years. That's going to play a lot on those guys' mind. I think it's going to be a really close game. I actually think, you've got potentially Josh Tuisova at 12. That's going to be crazy. I don't know if you know, but he's the only one in world rugby that has the most tackle busts in I think it's 150 tackle busts or something. He's got his percentage rate's like 80-something%. So he breaks the tackle.
Have you had to play him?
Yeah, but we had gentlemen's agreement, so it was fine.
It's so funny. Yeah, I can see that too.
There's a highlight of me and Josh where he ran and then I tackled him, then he went to the ground, and then same thing with me.
Then you pat each other in the ruck. Go on, mate.
Yeah.
You should have just fucking tossed him.
I have played against him, but it wasn't, mate. But then if there was a French fullback, oh my God, my French fullback, he just got eaten up. And he goes to me after the game, how come he didn't run into you? And I was like, nah, the way you got to tackle.
I was checking him, mate.
But come back to what I said. I reckon the Wallabies will win by 9 points.
All right, so lock in the Wallabies 1-12. I think it's going to be a big win for the Wallabies. I think, looking the way Jura went, I think it's going to be 40 plus to the Wallabies. But I can say it, man. I'm part of Fiji. It's all good, mate. Yep. It's all good.
He wants that job. He wants that job at Rugby Australia. Just give it to him. We get it. He's starting to sound like JT.
All right, let's go across the ditch.
It's a good day to be a great day.
Let's go across the ditch. All Blacks hosting France. It's test week finally for the All Blacks. France are bringing on their definitely not their starters. The boys are still tipping up. Yeah, it's pretty much go for go, and then all the B team Frenchies, former Frenchies, also internationals, trying to get another spot in the actual team. How do you boys think this first game is going to go? And margin, Freeney?
I love it. I love the disrespect, mate.
I love it.
You know what I mean? They just fucking don't give a fucking almost.
I love it.
Bother. Mate, I reckon the French by 3.
More disrespect.
NEMZ, what do you reckon, mate?
Sorry, mate.
Mate, I saw. Mate, they might as well bring on young Kid there. Get him on the tour.
Get him on, mate.
The Esper that they brought on. So, funny thing, I was watching a video. Justin Marshall's come out and just said, you know, this is a disrespect to the All Blacks. Every time we go there, we play our best team. You know, we do this, rah, rah, rah. And then they're like, you know, the French are bringing the French are bringing a development squad with 8 old timers. And then he was like saying, we shouldn't let them back, you know. No team should invite them. And I was just cracking up going, that is the French. Like,
they wouldn't give a fuck, mate. And they wouldn't give a fuck. Yeah. You guys want us. Yeah.
And,
but Justin Marshall is a sook, mate.
I'm not even going to give any scoreline, to be fair. Just like that's the disrespect's already given.
Yeah, mate. French might sneak up, mate, because these boys are trying to get back in the squad. But
and get this right. These guys will get paid in euros. They'll get paid allowances and stuff. It'll be a holiday for some of these guys.
I hope they just go full drawer and just get on
and then they'll just go. They'll go back to France and then have their 5-week holiday. So, mate, who's winning?
Apologies to our New Zealand viewers or tour views. But, I think we'll respectfully lock in the All Blacks 1-12 maybe. I think French are going to be better than what they actually look, mate.
Cat, you're a cat, mate.
You're a cat, mate.
But, let's go to the last game. It's the Springboks hosting Italy. They got a 2-game series against Italy in South Africa. Thoughts and the margin?
13+.
Thoughts and prayers, basically. See you later, Italy.
Mate, I think it might be 50+ here because, mate, the Boxers are fighting for positions. They're fighting for positions.
Do you reckon, like South Africa has gone to all the unions and like, hey, come to us, and then everyone's like, nah, and then Italy's like, oh, well, hey, what's
Poor Italy, mate. Poor Italy.
Like last resort. No, I just
What the fuck is this? What the fuck?
But
they're already dead.
But we'll go Springboks 13+ on this one. Respectfully, make sure you bet responsibly. Now, if people are wondering, where's all the women's rugby chat? We've saved it for the questions. A few people have asked a few questions. We've got 2 here. The first one here is from thoughts on the Wallaroos selections, and thoughts on why there's only 2 Aussie Sevens girls left and the others decided to pull out of the Wallaroos squad campaign, mate. Freeney, thoughts?
Because they don't care. I think the coach has lost the dressing room. Could be wrong.
Yeah. Allegedly. But we don't have a women's rugby expert here. JT, he's taking a week off. But I think I'll leave I've got a lot to say because I've watched pretty much every women's rugby game in Australia for the last few years. I'll save it for after the World Cup. Don't want to, stunt what they're working towards. I think, I still don't think that they should have got rid of Sione and Jake, the other coach. But we'll see how that goes. We're still backing the girls, and hopefully they can get the selections right. So, last question: how good was it finally seeing Bella McKenzie back in the green and gold? Surely going to be in the team list for the last couple of tests. This was one of the notes that I would have saved till after, I think. I think it's been crazy to see Bella McKenzie not in the game day 23, the last pretty much majority of the Joe Yap era. I think she's been QB1 ever since before that, and the girls were tracking well. But I think she'll be in that World Cup squad and hopefully push to get that spot once again. But competition's pretty crazy there. But we'll save it for JT when he comes back. But yeah, thanks for sending in your questions. We'll be sure to have JT back to our expert back next week. Now, boys, shout outs to end the pod. Freeney?
Shout out to the Mighty Reds, mate. We're going to do it. We're going to do it. They're going to get over the Lions, and it's going to go down in history. And I tell you what, it's going to be the crying Lions after Wednesday night. That's for sure.
All right, and NEMZ, shout outs?
My shout out is to the host of the show, Tony. He's got a big gig coming up in Suncorp with the Reds, and this could be the start of something new, mate. We might not see you again after this, so I can see why you've got your Wallaby stuff on as well. Obviously, you're trying to work your way up to Australia, Rugby Australia, so just go down to Jeeps, mate.
Yeah.
He's blushing.
Help you.
Yeah, that's why I picked this, mate. I'm on the Jeeps bandwagon for the rest of the season because our pack boys are there. Mate, shout out to the boys getting it done. I was throwing chat at them at halftime. I told Freeney not to tune in because it was woeful first half. But credit to the boys, they came back and got the win. Mate, Matty Jekyll, mate, he's got to be in there somewhere. I would have thrown him into the Red squad, but yeah. And boys, thanks for jumping on this week. JT, you're my shout out for this week, and hopefully we'll see you back next week. Thanks, boys, and we'll make sure you do like and subscribe, and we'll see you guys next week. All right, thank you.